Welcome to this presentation on Khiri Myanmar. My name is Stephen, and I will be sharing with you some of the insights into Khiri and what our Myanmar office can arrange for your guests. Established in 1993, Khiri has won numerous awards and earned a reputation as a destination management company with a difference. Dedicated to working with select tour operators to provide authentic, local and sustainable experiences across Asia, Khiri operates 17 offices, located in Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam and Sri Lanka, with our Maldives destination being operated from here as well. As of February 2020, each Khiri office has been fully certified by Travelife, a sustainability certification awarded to tour operators after a rigorous observation of their systems, policies and procedures, checked by external auditors from Travelife. The three-stage Travelife process acknowledges the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, as well as corporate social responsibility guidelines. These include labour conditions, human rights, environmental responsibilities, biodiversity, and fair business practices across the company and its supply chains. Khiri Travel's aim is to be a leading brand of quality, sustainable tourism in Asia. Our vision of sharing our passion for discovery encompasses the company's collective inspiration, outlook and culture. Globally, Khiri handles over 40 source markets, with the bulk of its clients coming from Europe and the USA. We do what every destination management company can regarding accommodation and transfers, as well as offering expertise in tailored bespoke itineraries designed for your guests' enjoyment, while maintaining the key pillars of authentic, local and sustainable tourism. Our Myanmar office aims to showcase the long rich history of this magnificent country in its services and products. From the famous Shwedagon Pagoda to the serene landscapes that clients can join all to themselves. Being fully certified by Travelife, Khiri Myanmar always have sustainability in mind. Please watch the following video for an insight into some of our activities. Our office is located in Yangon, and we have helped young entrepreneurs around the country to set up their own sustainable businesses, resulting in a network of 12 offices around the country. With their diverse backgrounds and knowledge of the country, our employees are here to welcome your clients into a land steeped in ancient history and home to many ethnic communities. The main gateway for visitors arriving in Myanmar is the former capital and economic centre of the country, Yangon. Though well visited, Khiri can showcase both popular and lesser known sites, as well as community events that avoid the crowds. On our Magic of 1000 Oil Lamps experience, guests will have the honour of participating in a special ceremony of offerings made to Buddha in the hope of receiving wisdom and enlightenment. As part of the ceremony, you will assist in the lighting of 1000 oil lamps that are placed on a band of dancing flame on a platform that circles the pagoda. Our blessing ceremony with monks experience is a true and complete insight into Buddhism that our guests can be a part of. We invite 3 Buddhist monks to pray for you, while you kneel or sit in silence as they recite Buddhist verses, in a ceremony practiced throughout the lives of Theravada Buddhists of Myanmar. The ritual is essential for locals when opening a shop and inaugurating a house or car. For visitors, they are able to perform these prayers for a special occasion, like an anniversary, a honeymoon, or a birthday. Mandalay is a former royal capital of Myanmar and home to the palace of King Tibor, the last king of Myanmar. Moving the capital city from one location to another has been common practice in the country for centuries and still is today. Our meditation with monks and nuns experience takes guests to Sakaian, on the hills southwest of Mandalay by the Irrawaddy River. Get introduced to the basic meditation principles widely practiced by monks from a young age, in line with the Buddhist philosophy of liberating the mind from attachment to circumstances one cannot control. At the meditation session, a monk or nun will give you instructions on posture, focus, and breathing, before leaving you to your own personal exploration and practice for the rest of the session. Our Mandalay to Bagan, temples, tortoises, and river cruise tour explores rural Myanmar and includes a visit to a wildlife sanctuary, as well as a fantastic boat ride down the Irrawaddy River. Your guide will meet you in the morning at your hotel with a private car, and take you to an enormous temple complex that is one of the best archaeological sites in the country. You then continue to a local wildlife sanctuary, set up by Khiri Reach, to see the endangered star tortoise, indigenous to Myanmar's dry zone. Here you will go on a walk in the forest with the wildlife sanctuary rangers, seeking out the released tortoises in their natural habitat. Following the walk, you then visit the sanctuary's breeding centre to see some of the newborn baby star tortoises. Your visit to the sanctuary helps to support the funding for this project. An icon for tourism in Myanmar, the temples of Bagan, never failed to impress. Over 2,000 temples, most of them around 800 years old, are spread out over an area covering roughly 8 square kilometres. In addition to visiting the temple sites, it's often recommended for guests to opt for an aerial view of Old Bagan, floating with the wind in a hot air balloon, to experience the amazing views of the spectacular landscapes this region is home to. On our Bagan Temples and Food by Night tour, visit some of the classic as well as some of the hidden temples of Bagan, at a time where very few visitors are around. Experience how the Bagan temples feel like in the evening, and take a leisurely stroll around the quiet grounds in a way most tourists don't often experience. Try some typical snacks that are usually served at night during temple festivals, and have dinner at a nearby restaurant favoured by the locals. Beyond the famed ruins of Bagan lies the many villages of Myanmar's dry zone. Its inhabitants must survive the harsh conditions of this climate, and often have to walk miles for clean water. For our water well donation activity, take this opportunity to donate a water well, which will be built prior to your arrival, and see firsthand the positive effects sustainable tourism can have on a community. A wonderful way to meet and support the local population. One of the highlights while travelling Myanmar is a visit to Inle Lake in Shan State, more than 800 metres above sea level and has a pleasant cool climate. A day trip by motorboat will bring you to the villages built on stilts, floating gardens, and colourful markets frequented by different ethnic groups living on or around the lake. Enjoy a memorable dining tour unlike any you have had before, on our lunch on a floating restaurant on Inle Lake experience. Situated in a transformed rice barge, your traditional Shan lunch is prepared on a kitchen boat nearby, while you take in the breathtaking scenery. This is exquisite dining in a serene location from a unique perspective, an exclusive experience with delicious Shan food, provided with the help of a fully equipped kitchen boat floating parallel. On our Shan cooking experience, meet Tintin, an Intan native from Inle Lake, who will share her Shan recipes with you during this traditional cooking class in her stilted home over the lake. Learn to prepare simple, flavourful home-cooked food from a local lady, who has been cooking her whole life for her family and really enjoys sharing her skills with anyone wishing to cook authentic Shan food. A trekking holiday is always a good way to get out of the daily routine of city life, do some exercise, and discover the rural countryside of Myanmar. Our 3 Lakes trekking experience is an active itinerary that is still ideal for all ages. This 4-day trek will take guests through the diverse landscapes, ranges, and small rural villages that are usually not visited by tourists, while offering charming boutiques, home-cooked meals, and your luggage will be transferred between each accommodation to help make the trek a much more relaxing experience. Another destination we visit is Kalau, for our adventurous family tour of trekking and elephants in the forests, a rewarding day trip into the forests in the region, where you will encounter elephants and their mahouts, and people living in the area. Young tourism professionals from Kalau town decided to set up Green Hill Valley Elephant Camp, a project that is focused on protecting nature, providing care for elephants, and preserving the traditions of local people. In a large part of this privately protected forest, a natural habitat has been set aside for animals that would otherwise be vulnerable to hunting and poaching. The tour begins with a private car ride to the starting point of this trek, which is mostly downhill walking through forest. You arrive at the main camp where the specialised staff will explain their project and the daily activities at the camp. A delicious lunch will be served, before helping the mahouts wash and feed the elephants. You will also be invited to plant a tree, before driving back in the afternoon to Kalau town. The people we interact with on our experiences are what can turn tours into lifelong memories. Our personalities are not only our guides, experts and entertainers, but also have stories to tell that relate to the unique experiences our clients can undertake. Every personality on our trips that our guests engage with play their part in the history, culture, arts or religion of the country, providing a real insight not regularly found in guidebooks. During your time in Mandalay, take the time to visit Mrs. Susu, a nurturing lady who has welcomed travellers to her guest house for years. A Mandalay native and a true storyteller, she brings to life tales of the city as she offers cooking classes to her guests. Having witnessed the boom of tourism in Myanmar, there is no one better to answer your questions. The entire family's enthusiasm for Mandalay, and especially its food, through countless personal stories and anecdotes, is nothing short of fascinating. Puppet shows and storytelling are an essential part to Burmese culture. Visit one of the old traditional puppet masters of Myanmar during your stay in Yangon, and find out what happens on and off the stage. The old ways of life lost to the modern world can be seen in the performances appealing to all ages, including families. The art of pulling the strings originated from royal patronage, but was later made available to the public. Puppeteers have always had an important role in society, for previously, secret messages would cross the stage to knowing eyes, but never pass the lips. You will have the opportunity to get a real insight into the myths and stories behind the local craft during your time at Inle Lake. Traditional spirits are often believed to ward off bad spirits, enemies, and other unfavourable influences. In the rural mountains of Shan State bordering China, Laos and Thailand, inking on traditional protection tattoos and other tribal patterns is a practice passed through generations that is still very much alive today. Discover the meaning, art styles and beliefs behind this fascinating tradition that still holds strong ties with Buddhism and animism in Myanmar. Thank you for watching this presentation. For more information regarding our Myanmar destination, please contact sales.myanmar@khiri.com. For any assistance from our UK office, please contact Stephen@khiri.com. Further information on who Khiri Travel are and our other destinations can also be found over on our website, khiri.com. Thank you.